live now.
We're live now. Hey there, hey there.
Guys.
We're trying to find a really good place again. We've been driving around like crazy people, but today is going to be very exciting. We're going to have Miss Anita Wilson on, so that is fantastic. And are we going to park right here, or where are we parking? Hi, okay, we're getting some people in.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, it's gonna be a great day. We're really excited to talk to Anita. What song are you excited to hear from her today, Mom?
Here's to Love, I think is what it's called. I love this song, and really looking forward to all of the stuff that she's doing right now. So she's just got an really incredible voice. If you don't know her, this will give you a chance to know her today. So yeah, we're just waiting for her now to get on. We've got, oh, Anita's here right now, so here we go. Here we go. Join. Let's see how it goes. Claude, I think there's a big white spot over here, so you're going to have to come in much more on this side, or you're going to just be washed out the whole time.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Let me get my, I am good. They'll treat
Gosh.
me right. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear?
Are you freezing up on your end?
Okay. No.
Okay,
No.
so we're good to go.
Yeah, I think we're good.
First of all, as I told you, I did my side sweep today in honor of Miss Anita Wilson.
I love that.
Queen of the side sweep. Girl, there's so much we need to talk about today. It's a crazy day. We're going to get into all of that because we like to make sure that people know that we as faith-based people stay on top of what's going on. We're not living in a bubble. However, I think it's always good to start from the beginning so people can get to know you well. And okay, I want to get this right. Were you born in St. Louis and raised in Chicago, or raised in Chicago and born in St. Louis?
Well, kind of the first one, which is born in East St. Louis, Illinois. A lot of people just kind of say St. Louis, but it's East St. Louis. St. Louis is Missouri. East St. Louis is Illinois. It's right across the river, but it's two different states.
Okay.
So yeah, I was born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois, and then I moved to Chicago in '99, and Chicago has been home since then.
I mean, Chicago, we think of it, and there is a lot going on over there politically in terms of crime and all that kind of stuff. I mean, how has that affected you? Have you gotten involved in?
Well, you know,
what's happening?
Yeah, I have not gotten really, involved. When it was kind of of course, how crazy the summer was with the marching and all of that. A part of me wanted to go stomp the ground, and then my husband was like, "You gonna stomp yourself right here in this house,
right here,
because it can be dangerous." So, we definitely, I guess, to not so much in an effort to counter that, since I wasn't going out, but on the flip side of that, we've definitely been vocal on social media to, as you said, sometimes people of faith can be a little quiet or just don't want to mix church and state and all that. But me and my husband, I mean, the things that we're dealing with now, it's not anything you can draw a line with. It's humanity, and that is God. So I don't see any separation there. So we've at least been trying to use our platforms to just kind of speak up on some of the things. But as far as like the crime and the unrest in Chicago, we just stay safe. I'm a homebody anyway, y'all. So.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. You're a real homebody. I mean, do you cook, or when you're at home, what kind of things do you do a lot of being a homebody?
Yeah, I cook a little bit. Me and my husband, we cook for each other. So we kind of,
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
How long you known each other?
We've known each other since 2002, so almost 20 years.
Wow. And his name was Rick Robinson.
Rick Robinson. That's my honey. That's my husband, and that's my partner. Yeah.
And he's written one of the most beautiful praise songs ever written for the church, I think. And
I agree.
I love more than anything. I always want to call it "I love you, Jesus," but
a lot of people do that.
I love you, Jesus.
That's what everybody knows it and loves it. For sure.
That was a good song. I was thinking of Lamar, but it's he wrote that. He penned it. So.
Yeah, Lamar.
Exactly. Yeah, he penned it. I think in like 2000, 99, 2000. So that's about 20 years old, you know, that song. And
really?
He was,
I should have called us back then.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I know.
that was a big one.
It was a huge song.
People to sing it too.
Okay, right. Yeah, man. It was a huge song, and it's lasted and it's beautiful. I tell Rick all the time, like that's up there with like Total Praise and you know those hymns, those new hymns, for sure. So I was honored to cover it because it was
out every time.
You covered it on which album did you cover?
I did on my last full album, which was Sunday Song. I covered More Than Anything. So he said many people had asked him for permission to cover it, but he said no. But then he allowed me to because I had begun singing it on the road. So he gave me his permission.
Yeah, that's so sweet. And you also have a daughter, Jolie. Is that how you say it?
Yes, Jolie, absolutely. She is 12. She turned 12 in April 27th. So she's beautiful, and I'm her bonus mom, and it's just beautiful to have the privilege of raising such a beautiful girl and the responsibility of being a good example and all of that. So she's so smart. She has her own business. She's 12. She's 12. She has it's called right. Listen, she's learning early.
But she's learning from you guys because I think that's one of the things we want to talk about is that you've been most of the time an independent artist and very successful with 3 Grammy nominations and all of that. So I mean, we really are trying to. It was Reflection is the name of the label you have now.
Yes.
How do you think you've been able to do that successfully and get the noms and very difficult for artists to do?
For sure. Yeah, it definitely is. It's been a heck of a journey. You know, this year is my 10th year of being a solo artist, and I've experienced several different scenarios of being affiliated with labels and being independent. When I first recorded my first album, I recorded it independently. So I paid for the whole album. I paid for everything. Okay. So that allowed me to own those masters. And I didn't know I didn't know what that really meant at first.
You didn't know how important.
No. Yeah.
That's serious business when you're able to own your own masters and the publishing, because you and your husband are writing the songs.
Yes.
And yes. I mean, crazy that you're getting good songs that are most artists. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying you did your first one independently, then you went with EMI.
Exactly. So I recorded it independently, and then we kind of talked to a few different labels, and I ended up doing a temporary license deal.
Licensing deal.
That
was smart.
Thank you.
So you distribute it now? Yeah, I mean, so you guys doing a joint venture with now?
Well, the first and second albums were the joint ventures where I was with then EMI, then turned Motown Gospel, right? So that was my first album, Worship Soul, and then the second album was Vintage Worship. Worship Soul was 2012, Vintage Worship was 2014. Both of those were Grammy nominated. So you know, just along that road, I just began to learn about the business. Because when I started, I just knew I wanted to do some music, and I kind of wanted to be a writer more than I wanted to be an artist. But me and Rick started, we were working at the same church, and we started, you know, just being inspired with some song ideas and all of that. And Rick was like, I think you should record this. And I was like, well, maybe I just want to be behind the scenes. Maybe I'll just go in and record it.
That's crazy.
Because listen, y'all, in 2008, right, recession, I was in massage therapy school, and I had to sing like on the west side of Chicago. And after I sang, somebody came up to me with a 20 in their hand. They were like, "Where's your table? Where's your table? Why don't you get your CD? Where's your table?" And I was like, I don't have no CDs, but Yeah, I said, I sure could use a few 20s because that gas is high right now.
Right?
You know, so I was like,
now.
yeah. So I was like, well, maybe I should. When me and Rick started feeling that inspiration, I said, well, maybe I'll just record it and have CDs in case somebody invites me to sing, but I'll have a good demo of these songs to send to other people and all of that. But one thing led to another, and that live recording was special. And we got songs like Speechless and More Than Any, Speechless and Jesus Will, and Shower the People, I covered by James Taylor. So it was a lot of special moments on that.
We heard he gave you a shout out or recognized you. James Taylor himself.
He did.
That song. How did that happen? I mean, what did James Taylor do?
Well, you know, again, music is such a beautiful gift, y'all, because it keeps on giving and it keeps on living. So we pride ourselves in making quality music, whether it's covers or our original stuff, and it'll keep on living and keep. These songs are 2010. We recorded these songs, but just a few weeks ago. Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. Just a few weeks ago. Just showing love, one of those times, because I do my own social media. It's not pre-scheduled content. It's not somebody else manning my page.
You're doing so well at it.
Thank you.
I think you're a bit of an anomaly, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Because most artists can't use right and left brain at the same time. And then you're working with your partner, and that's difficult too. Can be very difficult working with your husband. I know. I love my husband. We do very good work together, but it can be rough sometimes. We have difference of opinion. Do you find that too?
For sure. Yeah, it can definitely be challenging. As huge of a blessing as it is, you know, either you just getting on each other's nerves today, or I didn't like how you said that to me, and you didn't like how I looked at you a little crazy, or I was a little snappy. And he's like, listen, you running your little label, but you listen, I'm gonna need you to to adjust that tone.
Oh, girl, I've had that too, where Claude said, I understand you, Vicki, Mack, and all that in the office, but here at home, guess what? Guess who's running this show? Oh yeah, that happened to me too.
Yeah,
because you gotta get out of that I'm running things mode to being a wife that somebody, you know, wants to love,
be what he needs me to be. Exactly. So it can be.
It works the other way too.
And what's that, Mr. Claude? What's
I'd like to know too, girl. I'm looking, trying to.
I'm curious.
What I'm saying is that, to me, just my perspective is, it's about role reversal. So the husband has to, if you like, you know, I work for Vicki during the day.
I hear you.
So I switch over, so I have to switch over too.
For sure. Okay.
Right.
I
so,
get it.
You know, in other words, during the day, I got to switch over and support her, and if I use that term, submissive to her in that way, for the benefit of the relationship. And then, in a different scenario, the roles reverse, and that's really what the challenge after
those hats.
Switching those hats have to switch to hats.
But he's still, believe it or not, very dominant. He's a very dominant man, but people wouldn't see that.
She's an A. She's an A person.
Please.
I say that about Rick too. I'm like, Lord, Rick, y'all think Rick is this nice, tall, just nice guy. And y'all listen, Rick be put that good 14 foot down at home. Right. Now, listen, ma'am, that's enough. Let's get it together.
I get it. People don't get it. So I know I can go just so far. So,
exactly. Rick, come and wave at Mr. Claude and Miss Vicki while we're talking about you, Rick. Come and wave. I think they come and wave.
Come on, man.
We're talking about you. Come on through. Yeah, he's coming in.
There
it is. Say hi, bro.
Hi.
Hey there. Good afternoon, good people. Good afternoon, Mr. Claude, Miss Vicki. How are you today?
Good, really good, man.
I was in there taking my notes, Mr. Claude. I was in there taking my notes about how I need to role reverse as well.
Help me out.
So we've been doing this, you know, for 40 years, you know. So
we can learn from y'all.
It's a beautiful
we
thing.
can learn from y'all. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a longer process. Yeah, amen.
It's not easy, and to do it successfully. But then after a while, you get to the point where you can't do it without each other.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't know how to do it any other way. But we still fuss and everything. And
that means y'all still in love. That means y'all still in
Yeah,
love.
no, right, in love. So I don't want to focus on the fussing and stuff like that. It's really understanding how this thing needs to work for us.
Yeah.
And so, and to recognize and respect each other's role.
I've always admired for years how you all have managed to navigate this industry as well as marriage at the same time, because of what it takes to, and for y'all to go back as far as y'all went back to doing gospel centric in the garage, all the way to this point, and still together and still be able to, still be having that tickle in y'all. I saw y'all dancing a couple weeks for your birthday.
We love to dance too, man. We love salsa. We do a little salsa, man.
Yeah.
It's good to have
a bust a move every now and then.
Yes, sir.
It's good to have a hobby or something that you do together that's yours.
Yeah, that's true.
Besides being intimate, something like dancing or playing games, or I don't know, it can be anything, but you've got to have it and you've got to do it.
Absolutely. This is my best friend. We have a good time. We have a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure she told you that when we're actually working on music, it might get a little wavy. That's only because we're laboring together trying to get the best result. I mean, I'm not going to even tell some of the stories about,
It's not necessary.
Don't do
it. But at home, this is my best friend. We watch Lakers games. We watch.
Oh yeah, Lakers. Are you a Lakers fan?
Yeah,
he's a Lakers fan. We're Lakers fans.
Well, let me clarify one thing before I get in trouble. I'm born and raised Chicago, so I'm gonna bleed Chicago blood till the day I die.
Yeah, because you're a boy.
But I've always been a Lakers fan ever since I was a kid. Because I remember when I was a kid, I was a Showtime fan with Magic and Kareem and James Worthy. And then I became a next generation Lakers fan with Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
And then
now we've got LeBron and AD.
And technically AD.
They're killing.
And technically AD is from Chicago, so that's a representative. So, but we do stuff like that. Yeah. That's his brand now. That's his brand.
That's his thing.
But we watch games, we watch movies, and then we still have fun at home. So I'm grateful for my best friends.
Listen, y'all, you asked me about cooking, Miss Vicki. I cook. I don't brag on my cooking or nothing. I got some little dishes I could do so me and my family ain't hungry. But it's simple stuff. Like it could be a little stuffed pepper from time to time. It could be some little noodles. It could be a little noodles. But he wants to brag on me, so he tells people, "Oh, Anita makes some good ramen noodles." I say, "Baby, you don't have to brag. You don't have to brag on that. You ain't got to brag on my noodles."
Well, you know what I say? I'm very good at preparing. Yeah. I know how to buy stuff from the stores and stuff and prepare it, make it
prepared meal. I do the majority cooking at our house, though.
He does the majority of cooking. So I'm a blessed
a lot of cooking too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna just send me some of your recipes, sir, and then we're gonna get this thing together. I'm trying to keep up for 40 years.
I guess
I just want to commend you and give you our props, because I think all of your albums have been Grammy nominated.
Yes, sir. And I'm grateful to God for that.
And that's a great accomplishment, especially as an independent label, to be able to do that. So which says something about the quality of music you guys put together.
Thank you.
And this recognition. So and consistency is always an issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
My props to you, bro.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
And thank you for being an example of a husband who can stand 100% behind and let their wife shine and move and do whatever you can to keep that force going. So I've been taking those for years.
That's great. Well,
I've been taking those for years.
Thank you.
It's good to see both of you. I remember. Let me just say this real quick. Before I met Miss Vicki, she probably don't remember this, but I had heard your reputation had preceded you. So everybody was like, "This is a boss. This is a certified boss." When you talk to her, be on your stuff. She know her stuff. And I remember you came to Chicago. You probably don't remember this. I think it was for New Direction. It had a album release.
Yeah, New Direction. Yes.
And I was looking for you so that I could, because me and you needed to talk about something about paperwork or something. And I finally found you. And I said, "Where's Miss Vicki at?" They said she right there. And I looked there.
It's like, it's the lady.
I'm looking around for you. You was about 5 feet. You know, I'm 6'6". You standing about as tall as my shoulder. I was like, this is the powerhouse right here.
Let me tell you a story. One time, these guys were all standing around talking about, oh yeah, I know Vicki back and I can get to her and I can talk to her. And I'm thinking, I think I've entered the Twilight Zone because I'm right there. But these guys are tall. And so finally I went to one of them and I went up and I talked to him. He said, yeah, well, what do you know? You're like, get out of the way. I'm talking to someone. I'm Vicki Mack.
I'm like, I'm looking for this boss, and I'm like, that little lady over there is the one who's running things right there.
That's the boss.
And you've always been cool ever since then. So thank you so much.
I hope I was nice.
Oh, you were very nice. You were super kind to me.
Because I have to check myself sometimes.
No, you were super kind to me. You've been ever since then. So yeah.
Oh, good.
It's good to see y'all. I didn't mean to hijack your interview.
No, you're good. You were invited.
Okay.
That
Cool.
was fun.
Carry on.
We're gonna have to get together sometime. That was a lot of fun. And you have been with my baby. I always call him my baby, our first baby. Donald Lawrence is where you started before you went solo. And that man is a genius. And he can hear. He knows when it's right. He's the one that told me Reason Why We Sing was going to be a hit.
Wow, that's what I hear.
He said, Vicki, but this is the one. This is the one he told me. And
wow,
I said, well,
I love Donald. Yeah. I love Donald. It was, you know, that's where I used to always say that my journey has been the poster child. I could be the poster child for one thing leading to another, because I moved to Chicago. My brother, who's a pastor, he did an independent recording. He had Vashawn Mitchell and Rick Robinson work on that recording. That's where I met Rick. And then he, a couple of years after that, 2004, Vashawn did one of his independent projects, and they were looking for background singers. Yeah, and they were looking for background singers, and he and Vashawn remembered, like, let's get Anita. Remember Anita a couple of years ago? She had a good alto. Let's get her. And then at that recording, Donald Lawrence came and did some work with the singers, but he was just at that recording. I sang a little bit of the end of a worship song called Lost in His Presence. And that's where Donald heard me, and then he was like, "I'm gonna call you. You know, I really like your voice.
Yeah,
call you." I was like, "Yeah,
right."
Yeah,
and he would never said if he didn't mean it. He's that kind of a person, but
exactly.
He's got ears. I mean,
he does,
and I get it too. I got it because you've got. This is what I like about you, and this is why I like Here's to Life so much.
Okay,
you are an alto, but you've got this tone to your voice. It has a lot of jazz influence in there, but you don't do a lot of crazy runs or try to prove anything to anyone. We get a lot of that in gospel where people are when it's not natural to them. It's not bad when it's natural to them.
When it's natural, yeah.
But you just sing Anita, and you can just hear that vocal. This is where it is, and so most exquisite voice. And I wanted to ask you about that too, like who are your jazz influences? Because I like with Here's to Life and all that, the song reminds me of Nancy Wilson, but it's more of a Sarah Vaughan-ish kind of thing going on, and she's one of the greatest singers ever. So I was wondering, who are some of your jazz influences?
I was just listening to one of them, which is, I think the main one is Ella Fitzgerald. And Sarah Vaughan and Nancy Wilson for sure. I think I've always connected to voices that mine would end up being similar to. And I say that because it was before my voice really, really developed that I was, you know, those are some of my jazz influences, but as well in the 80s and 90s, I loved Anita Baker because she was an R&B artist, but you heard the jazz in her voice.
Absolutely.
You know, Rochelle Farrell, you know, voices like that.
Girl.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She is. She doesn't do too much right now because I know she's got things going on, but
but yeah.
Diane Reeves,
Diane Reeves
too.
Yeah, I used to love her song Better Days. Diane Reeves.
That's one of the Better Days is a great song.
Yeah.
I cry when I hear that song.
Yeah, because it gets emotional towards the end. She talked about, I think it's
grandmother.
Grandmother. Yeah.
Her grandmother.
Yeah. So when I grew up, I noticed those voices. So, you know, it wasn't only jazz influences that kind of helped me find my tone, but my parents, you know, when I was little, my parents used to play the Hawkins. The Hawkins
Oh, well,
family.
girl, you know,
So
I know my
so
people.
I love the Hawkins, and my favorite voice, of course, I love all of the leads, and of course, Miss Lynette. Oh, but it was Yvette Flunder for me. It was
you know what, girl? Okay. That's what I told Claude. If she reminds me of anybody,
wow.
it's Yvette.
Yes. Wow.
It's
oh my God.
Yes.
I love her
powerhouse.
voice.
I can see that. But that's what I said. I've said, well, she's kind of Yvette Flinders. Yvette might be an octave or so lower.
For sure, because I have a kind of heavy tone, but I noticed those tones. I loved her voice. I'm like, Lord, I love you. The one she sang with Bishop Walter Hawkins and so many, of course, everybody. Did you?
Yeah, that's how old I am. Yeah,
I love it. It's classic. You're a legend, ma'am. You're a legend.
I've been around a long time. Wow.
But yeah, you know, Gladys Knight and those voices that resonated with me. Of course, Layla Hathaway back in the day. I love Donny Hathaway as well. More every day. I just love his voice. So I connected with those voices that were kind of heavy and raspy before mine even really developed. I just loved them. And I was one of those girls because my family did music. My dad was a singer, musician, and pastor. So he and my mom used to sing together. My brother started playing. My sister directed the choir. But I was one of those kids that, we do this music, but, you know, later for these family concerts, I don't want to sing. I'm falling asleep. So I was like 12 and 13. I had the voice because it was a natural talent, like from my father and my father's side of the family, but I had the dead face. I didn't want to sing no Safe in His Arms. I was like, okay, they made me do this. So when I got to high school, I was a vocalist in the jazz band. And that's what began to help me develop my voice and begin to listen to jazz and Ella Fitzgerald. And they would also, for the concerts, they would do some of the R&B stuff. So they did some Whitney and they did some Anita Baker. And it helped me to begin to know how to perform and connect with an audience and stuff. So when I decided to do Here's to Life,
I love that song.
I love it.
You gotta play a little bit of it.
Okay, for sure. I had done a demo of that song. I had never heard it. Shirley Horn recorded it, and Rick was asked to kind of redo the music. So just from doing that demo, I was like, "Whoa, these lyrics, and this is great." And what we demoed it for, they ended up not using it, but I stayed connected to those lyrics, and I started just going to it off the cuff live and whatnot. So like around that Sunday Song album, Rick was like, you should record this. You should record this live. So we actually did that same night as a live recording, but we released it separately. And like I told you, at this point, I've ended up doing 3 versions of it. I did a studio version, a live version, and a dance remix version. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the dance remix.
You know, I don't know if it would be commercial, but personally, I would love to hear you do faith-based kind of, a little bit, but jazz. All album, just to hear.
Like a whole album? Some other people have definitely
maybe
mentioned
an EP,
that.
you know, maybe if you picked 5 songs or something, but to me, you're just so strong there, you know.
Thank you.
And it's refreshing. I think. What do you guys think out there?
I see my soldiers on here.
How do you feel about that? I just can really hear it. Just where your voice sits right there. I like the other songs too, but I like the twists and turns and just refreshing. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That would be awesome.
I just love that so much. But
and thank you for what you said, Miss Vicki. Let me respond to that because you mentioned the way that I sing and how I don't do a lot of runs and stuff. I don't because I literally can't. Like that is not, you know, I love the stuff like you said when it's organic. I love those singers that can do that and it makes me ooh and I like, golly, listen to that run and how did they hear that? How did they make my voice move slow? Donald once said I got a slow agitator. My voice is slow and smooth, it's chill, and I won't ever try to step out of who I am naturally. I remember when I first started moving around as an artist after that first album dropped, and I would go to programs, and you know how the musicals can kind of feel like this artist is trying to slay harder than the artist before, and everybody trying to kill everybody and get a bump going, and you know, it really. And I'm sitting up there. I used to be shaking in my boots like there. Now I'm about to sing Speechless and this little cute stuff. They don't want to hear this stuff. They don't want to. And one of those times, I remember my friend texted me and said they invited you to do what you do.
Yeah, to do what you do.
So I had to step into that and lean into that. So for the last several years, it could be that same kind of program, but I'd be sitting there with no sweat, like, listen, I'm gonna sing my little songs, and it's gonna be what it is.
This is me.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anita Wilson.
That's right.
That's Anita Wilson.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
do it good.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Shelby's just gonna play a little bit of it as we're talking about it right now, just so people can. Are you ready for that? Can you do that? So that we can just hear that whole thing, because we're going to go into the single that you're working on. But first, let's play a little bit of this.
Okay.
Here's to life.
Okay. So
you got it?
No, she's active. I got to activate her.
Oh, it's not activated? Okay, here we go. Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I see my soldiers on here. I love y'all, soldiers.
Is it too loud? No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. Though I have learned that all you give is all you get.
Yeah.
So give it all you got.
Give it all you got.
I've had my share, I drank my fill, and even though I'm satisfied, I'm hungry still to see what's down another road beyond a hill, and do it all again. Okay, so so you have some time to talk, but I just wanted people that don't know what I'm talking about with that voice. It's
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, so much. But I also wanted to get into the fact, we're going to kind of change the subject just a little bit, that you are a student of music. We talked about that. You're a student of the music business, but you're also a bit of a social person, and I wanted to talk about some of the endeavors you've had in that way, really, like you've been involved in the census, and I wanted you to talk to the people just a little bit about that. We haven't talked about the census on the show before. And
for sure.
Your activism with that.
For sure. Well, you know, I will be honest and say that all of my adult life, I'm 44 this year, right? So all of my adult life, I have not been as involved as I could have and should have been. But I just want to be honest and say that to the people that perhaps are now in that space as well. I want to encourage everybody to lean into it. We have to be responsible for walking on this earth and walking in this place that we live. And it's easy to kind of drive down the street and complain about potholes or hate to see boarded up hospitals and boarded up buildings and not enough funding in your neighborhood. But it is very easy. It's easier to let your voice be heard. It's easier to take less than 10 minutes and fill out the census. It happens every 10 years, and it's literally the government counting how many people are in the United States, and that will determine funding for roads and hospitals and neighborhoods and grants and things like that, and fire departments and schools and all kinds of things. And I think it's important to be responsible. I did an event with the radio station here with 1390 and Sonia Blakey a couple of weeks ago. Just I want to do my part with posting and mentioning it, and just I always tell my soldiers, like, each one reach 10. So if
your
I got
soldiers are your fans, right?
Yes,
yes. Soldiers? Okay.
My soldiers, SOUL. I think it's important to keep soul in gospel music.
Yes,
so
okay.
yes. So
okay.
So yeah, but if just a handful of people see my post and go to census.org, then I hope to just kind of make a positive impact. But I think it's important. The deadline, I think we're actually past it now. Because unless something happened, the president, we're gonna talk about him in a second, but they cut the deadline time. They shortened the deadline time to even be able to complete the census. So I really do hope that everybody did do that, in addition to registering to vote and all that. So while at one point, admittedly, I was not as involved as I could have and should have been.
Well, yeah,
now it's never too late. Yeah,
yes, never too late. Especially today, it's more important.
Especially now. Yeah,
let's talk about last night, girl.
Yeah.
Let's talk about last night. You know, our program is a kind where we really are into what's happening today, and we want to make sure people know that our folks and the folks we talk to are relevant. And what's relevant today, child, is that the president and his wife have COVID. What do you think about that, honey?
I think a lot about it, Miss Vicki, because on the one end, you know, I grew up, I always say this, my parents are resting in heaven now. So when I reminisced on sometimes with my mom was guilty of being a little bit too paranoid sometimes, just a little not trusting of people, you know, unnecessarily. So I grew up seeing some of that, and as an adult, I've always been committed to keeping that balance. Like, don't always think the worst and keep that. Okay, so with that being said, I don't want to overthink it, but we've dealt with so much craziness from this president. To be honest, my initial and some of my thoughts still are like, wow, that's tripped out. You have bashed this situation. You have called it a hoax. You have made fun of people for wearing masks. You have had super spreader events and put people in harm's way. You lied about knowing how bad it was. You've known since March, all of that stuff. And now your tail got it. This is crazy. Oh my God. I wonder, is he okay? He has symptoms. Is it? But then the other side of me feels like, is this true?
Yeah.
He's literally shown us so much horrible stuff and done so many horrible things and lied since before he was elected. He's lied to us. I think it was a couple months ago at this point, but I think they had tallied up the lies, child, and it was like 19. It was Rick probably put it out, but it was like thousands of lies since literally. So I can't help but I feel like an abused citizen at this point, because I can't help but trip that, like, wow, that's crazy, because we've seen a lot of COVID deniers get COVID. We've seen that. We've seen we've seen a lot of people, pastors and all kind, you know, get it. So it's not a foreign thing to happen, but I just can't help but to wonder, because there's always an angle with this administration. There's always a let's do this and make them think this, and then we go. So I have a whole lot of mixed feelings. So I will digress. And what do y'all think about it? If I
girl, they are commenting. Somebody said yes, a little Clorox. He said, well, somebody's talking about the Central Park 5.
Yeah.
Divine Liz says, my dear said Liola. And so
and he looks bad, so it's not hard to believe that he may have it, because he doesn't look healthy. just the texture of his skin. He just doesn't look healthy, and he eats Big Macs and drinks Coke all day. They say, and doesn't rest and all that. But who knows?
I hear you, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conspiracy stuff going around, but the seriousness of it, I think, is in such a matter that that's not something you play around with and joke with.
Yeah,
because there's so many. There's national security implications. There's a lot of stuff that could go off if you want to play a game. The real thing is just for him, since he's right dab into that high risk group, and the question is how well will he will he ride it out? I mean, so which that in itself can have some severe implications, and so.
I don't know.
And we've got to pray. I mean, people say that a lot, and I had to check myself because I had a hard time thinking to pray for him, and I try to pray for him every day because we're supposed to pray for those in office, but it's sometimes difficult, and I know sometimes it says you're supposed to pray for those who despitefully use you. And,
that's what the words say.
But we have to be.
But you still talk to God. So this dude is despitefully using me. I am not liking this thing. So you do a little something to him for me.
Listen, the prayers of the righteous might avail much.
It's always okay to be real with God about certain situations.
It is. It is.
He says, vote, my people. And,
we got to. Because some people are like, is he setting something up to kind of then say, hey, I'm good, and I took the vaccine.
Now you take, girl.
I just don't know.
I'm very,
I'm still not taking the vaccine till my doctor approves it. He said he's got to read the studies. He said told me. He said I'm going to read it. He said I'm not taking it till I check it out. And I'm not going to tell you to take it until I've checked it out and I take it.
Because good. Could be happening. I don't know.
Me too. Me too.
These last few years have made me think like that. And I never used to think like that. But I think like that now. And
me too.
Sometimes when I tell you, I feel bad. It makes me feel bad about myself. I'm supposed to be this Christian up here.
And then you're like, dang, I'm thinking like this and I'm tripping, but then that's why I said jokingly, but there's a truth to this. We are all somewhat of abused citizens because we've been, y'all. You get used to stuff real quick. Now I'm real. My people know I'm real, so y'all, I just keeps it real. I'll keep it clean, but just okay. So you ever been in a room that stinks? Or you ever been around too close to a bathroom where somebody did that and it kind of
or in the back of an airplane?
Yeah, but after a while, if you on that airplane for a 4-hour flight, about 2 hours in, you ain't smelling that funky smell no more because you're in it.
Right, you're in it.
Now, I said that to say I often have to sit and think about it. And as we kind of question ourselves, why am I feeling like this? It's hard to pray, all of that. But y'all, we have really observed a lot since not 2016, 2015, when this man was campaigning and in those rallies and saying, punch the S out of them and I'll get you out of jail and those bastards and this, those kinds of, I mean, it's been to the Stormy Daniels payment, to everybody around them being indicted and straight up in jail, and we've seen a lot to grab them by the. We've seen a lot of stuff, and I gave that weird funky smell scenario because
but you can
kind of forget.
One of the
so
people said you get traumatized by all of it and desensitized, and
you do.
Yeah.
They get traumatized or traumatized?
Traumatized or traumatized.
Traumatized or traumatized. That's good.
That's a good one, Claude. That is
a good one, y'all. Traumatized, honey. Yes. So I don't know, y'all. I think ultimately we're all, and I don't even know that it's so much going on. You don't try to be a conspiracy theorist, but you can't help but wonder about this. So after all those thoughts flush through and sit where they're going to sit, I think at the end of my caption, I kind of edited just to say, let's see where this goes.
Yep. Girl, I'm going to switch
and
on
vote,
you
vote,
again.
vote. Okay.
I'm going to switch on you again.
Okay.
Now I'm going to tell you a pet peeve of mine, and then I'm going to find out where you come in at. Oh,
okay.
But before I do that, I want to know what you thought about WAP. Since you asked me what I thought about WAP, I said I'm going to surprise her. What she got on me about WAP and the whole thing with what's your name again?
James Hall.
Well, James Hall has
Cardi B
and Cardi B. What you think, girl?
Well, okay, so I talked about this on one of the lives too, and of course people brought in a lot of examples of, like, there's this old song where this woman was talking real nasty, and the WAP ain't got nothing on this, and men been doing it for years. So I get the freedom of women, I get the freedom of speech, I get that it was kind of a now version of women's empowerment, a little bit from them, like, hey, we can do what we want to do, and the guys been doing it, so we got to. I'm here for it. Okay, go do your thing. But I will be honest and say, when I was gonna say first saw the video, the only time I saw the video, because I don't need to see it no more or hear the song. Yeah, or hear the song anymore. But when I heard it, and when I heard the song, just as a woman, as a grown woman, as a mother, as a Christian, and as a classy woman, it was a lot for me. It was, thank you, ma'am, back at you. It was a lot. I just think that, and my mind goes to little girls.
Yeah.
My mind goes to little girls, because I know, when I was 13, I got popped in the mouth for singing along to the radio to As We Lay by Shirley Murdoch. My mama was like, shut. So I was singing, we both belong.
Yes,
she's like, girl, you don't know what you're singing about. Yes, so it's kind of evolved over the years, but yeah, honestly, kind of WAP to lean on it, because I think we're used to maybe hearing these smack talking rap lyrics, and there's a line or two here or there that get nasty and talk about the bedroom. Oh, did they say but then they kind of talk their smack in other ways about how they look and what they got. Okay, but that was just, it had one subject, and every line was like, do this.
Yeah, I never made it through. I never made it through the whole thing, but it gets me to this point, which is my pet peeve with some of the faith-based artists.
Okay.
They can't dress right. They want to look like the world sometimes, and depending on your figure, and if you're full figured and all that, they are not. I don't think enough people are presenting as something that's interesting, fashionable, serving us something. I think we deserve all of that. And depending on your body type, I'm not saying you can't wear pants or anything like that, but it's like, come on now. I'm seeing camel toe and everything else. On faith-based artists, you don't do that. You are so classy. You dress so well. You serve us a look. We know we're going to get a swoop or something. We're going to get different colors. It's so refreshing. I wish people would take classes from you. How do you manage that? Because I heard you're your own stylist too. It's amazing what you do.
Thank you.
How do you do it?
Thank you. I just keep it simple, stupid. My dad used to say, kiss, keep it simple, stupid. But I am my own stylist. I do think that's very important as a woman. And as I told you guys, I guess I got some experience even as early as high school, being on stages and finding myself there, but realizing how important even then it was to make sure that you're wearing something that's sassy, and it could be sexy, it could be this, but it can still be classy and covered and modest at the same time. I've some have been tighter than others over the years, right? But
I don't mind tight.
Yeah, but
I just don't want to see everything. I mean, sometimes Mary, Erica, she wears tight, but she looks great to me.
Exactly, because it's clean.
It's clean, and she can handle it for her body type, and it looks fabulous.
Yeah.
But like I said,
everybody
like jeans, man. Everybody shouldn't be putting on jeans, And it's not a body shaming thing I'm talking about. It's about class, because I don't want to say you shouldn't wear this and you shouldn't wear that, but you do need to look First of all, I don't want you to look like you just jumped out of H&M and threw something on. I want you to serve me something. I really do, because I think we deserve to have fun and see different looks and be proud of ourselves and be fashionable and even say, oh, I want to look like this or I want to look like that. So that's number one. But like I said, the jeans and the camel toe and seeing all that is just more than I can take.
Yeah, it's too much, because you're getting the wrong attention. And if you're an artist, you know that if you're headed somewhere, even if you headed somewhere to sit in the audience and support somebody else, but especially if you're headed to an interview or a performance, you have to consider that everything from the material. You know, so these are things that I consider for myself. I'm a full-figured woman, so I got to think about the best materials for my body, so it ain't pulling, but it's curving over these curves and not looking bad. I got to think about shapewear and smoothers, so I ain't jiggling too much. If you're blessed and highly favored, then you got to spend a little more money on your brassiere, excuse me, Big C, and just all of that kind of stuff. You have to be. I am mindful of those things, and I talked about this with someone the other day. But before you leave the house, go to the mirror, daughter, and dance like you on stage and see if is it falling? Is it falling?
Yeah. Anita,
rising? Is that skirt rising a little? Oh, this might not be the right dress.
They won't do it sometimes. But Anita, when we had God's Property and I think also SOP, we used to make them put on 2 bras and exercise trainer or something over, because I said you can't be flipping and jiggling like that.
No.
And I don't want to sound like these old-fashioned mothers, but I guess.
Well, let me just just drop in something, and I'm not disagreeing with whatever you said or Vicki said. I just think that there is 2 different standards. You know, there's a worldly standard, if I can use that, and I think what you guys saying is that, look, we're not judging that standard because we don't create that standard. That's God's standard. The standard we judge is, as you want to say, the Christian woman, the modesty. That's a different standard that we define and we want to walk by as Christian women, even as Christian men, in terms of how we, how you perform, what you hold on stage, and all that kind of stuff. Right. So there is a standard, and so just like on WAP, I don't get caught up on what they doing. I'm not here to judge what they doing, but I do judge and say, hey, how do we as you as Christian women, or me as a Christian man, how do we operate and walk into the standard that God's called us to walk to? And so I think that's really more, for me, the purpose is that the world gonna do what they gonna do. We just gotta make sure we do what we're supposed to do. And
so Ms. Vicki, it looks like you have somebody you need to block. Can you block that person right there? Is that the one y'all been going off on?
Yeah.
I don't know how to block
Is Ashton the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's get him out of here. I saw Shamel and some people. So go on and get him out, because I don't play games, Miss Vicki. So I want to be nice.
I didn't even see it.
I know.
I don't even know how. I don't know how to
touch him. Touch his name, and then you can hide the live. You can report, and you can also hide live from him.
Okay, I'll do
and
both.
he won't be here anymore.
You guys keep going, and I'll just be here.
Okay, girl. Does anyone say anything about? Yeah, thanks. I didn't even see it.
No, let me do what I have to do.
Does anyone say anything about your green hair?
No, not anything. Not anything bad. I kind of got that's him right there. There, just tap that name and get him out of there.
I got it.
Okay, cool. No, I kind of locked into a thing a few years ago where I think the first color I did was purple. I started playing with blondes. Yes, scroll it all the way.
Yes, I like the blonde too.
Yeah, thank you. I miss blonde. I may go back to blonde, but
girl, you should do another color.
I got some other colors in mind that I may do when I was thinking about purple, but when Prince died, it just sent me over the edge, and I just went purple, and I really liked that. And one time I think I saw a little tweet where somebody's trying to laugh like Anita Wilson with this purple hair, child, and I just laughed at it. But for the most part, I was a little timid when I would go to churches and stuff, like to the Kojic churches. Like, are these people gonna be tripping on me for having this color hair? But nobody has ever said anything. They like it. That's I think great. They like the different vibe. And, you know, I just try to, I think I've worn the same hairstyle since, I keep talking about high school, child, but since I was young, because I just think it just works for me. And there was a group back in the day called Climax, and they remember the group called Climax, and they just they had that side hair. Prince had the side hair, so I guess I just adapted that, and I've done it. Thank you.
The color works for you.
I'm always waiting to see what color. What's Anita gonna do next? Can you see us all the way?
Yep, I got you. This is good. Okay. This is good.
Oh, okay. It's just here we're not seeing everything. Okay. But you know, we're at the point now where you've got a song. Is this on the new album? Clap Your Hands. Is this
that's on the new one. That's on the Dance Soul EP. This year, like I mentioned, makes 10 years as an artist. So I just wanted to do something in between albums. Because I'm working on my fourth full album. So I just decided to do some remixes from those 3 albums that I did, and I called it Dance Soul, and we did 7 songs. And at my 3rd live recording, Yolanda Adams was there. She introduced me. That's the first voice you'll hear on that album. That's my big sis. So we did a churchy medley, and then me and Rick were like, okay, we can't have Yolanda here and not call her up. Like, we gotta, and we didn't know what song it was gonna be. Like, is it gonna be a ballad, or should we do a worship? I don't know. So it was just in the moment. At the end of that churchy medley, I was like, at the beginning of that song, you'll hear, well, before Yolanda comes up, you'll hear me say, I wonder if Miss Yolanda Adams feels like singing this part. So I just kind of called her up on that reprise. And it was great. So that reprise is on that last album. So for this Dance Soul EP, Rick made it into a song with my part and his part. And I just told him with this EP, I just want to do some dance remix stuff and step out the box and go to the dance floor, y'all. So it made it into a song called Clap Your Hands. I'm excited. It's in the first round, which is not the official round. So it's not the official round of Grammys, guys, but it's the first round of Grammys. And
well, we're going to go off. We want to say
okay, it's time.
We're not going to go off.
We're going to play the song.
Okay.
We're good.
And if we do,
we started late, so we're good, Mom.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I just didn't want it to jump off and then
cut off.
Get everybody back on. Yeah.
I gotcha. Trying to make the people move a little bit. Thank y'all. Yeah. That's it. Hey. It's a fun one, y'all. Shamel. Here we go. Yay. I see you dancing. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. better than good. Trying to make you dance. Hey.
Oh wow, that was
Thank you. Thank you. Gotta make you
that.
move and dance and stuff. Thank y'all.
Yeah, and enjoying you. And we gotta get together sometimes. That's a little couple thing or something. When you come to LA or I don't know.
Sure.
Post-COVID.
Post-COVID. Nah, listen, you ain't got to say it. It's implied. What's understood needs no explanation.
Thank you. So I hope we get to see each other in 2021.
For sure. For sure. We are working on new music, and we'll.
Hey there, I'm on my phone now. So.
Okay. Were you on another device at first?
Yes, we were on our laptop, and now we're on the phone. So. Gotcha. Yeah. But so I wanted to tell you, thank you so much. This was a fun conversation. I want you guys to know I've known of Anita and been a fan, but I think we've become friends since kind of COVID and Corona and all that, and just It's just really kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I am too.
Thank you, Miss Vicki. I'm honored. You definitely are. I mean it. The words like these are used horribly loosely these days. Words like legend, I don't use them loosely at all. You have impacted us so much, and your mark is indelible in all of our lives. I can remember. I was trying to remember the exact song, but I've heard your name forever. It was one song that I forget which album and song, but it was Kirk saying, I was nervous, but I feel it now, Vicki. I feel it. I feel it now, Vicki. I feel it. And I was like, I wonder who.
Is it Melody?
Yeah, Melodies from Heaven.
Okay.
Yep, exactly, babe. Exactly. I was like, I wonder who Vicki is. That must be somebody. He talking to Vicki.
Yeah.
But of course, since then, just learning your journey, and you've inspired women like me to just kind of take a hold of your own career and work hardest for yourself, and being a mom and a wife and all that. So I'm honored to know you. I'm honored to call you friend, and just thank you so much for y'all taking time with me today.
And thank you for talking to me online. I don't know. I've never really made a closer friend online before like that, but I guess that's the time we're living in, huh?
For sure. Yeah, it's different. I've experienced that with this time, where we wouldn't have had that opportunity, because when we have seen each other, it's just passing. It's just saying, hey, real quick. So my dad said something before he went to heaven. Even when Trump got elected, he was like, it had to happen. It had to happen. So, and I was talking to a friend yesterday that was saying, like, a lot of people concentrate on how rough things are right now. And it's plenty of things that are very, very, very rough right now. But there are plenty of things that are very beautiful too. And this is one of those moments. So I'm grateful. We look at the upside and keep going and trust God. For hope. So yeah, I feel like we could do a whole nother hour, child. We got a lot to talk about.
And I'm gonna let you and everybody go. I want to tell them thank you for Carnival Talks, and then we also have go to our playlist, which is Vicki Mack's Wax Tracks. I hadn't done it before, but I think Here's to Life I'm gonna put on my crossover playlist, because that is so incredible. And then we'll put Clap Your Hands On. We have another the new. It's called the new.
The new.
So put some stuff on there too. So everybody, please go to the Vicki Mack's Wax playlist, and you've got some places. How can everybody reach you, Anita? For sure,
MissAnitaWilson.com is my website. I'm here on IG. I'm on Facebook and Twitter, y'all. I love to interact and continue to build our audience and our community here on social media. I love having the direct connection to my supporters. So y'all hit me up. Y'all hit me up. Before we left, I was just mentioning that me and Rick are taking our time, but we are working on new music, and we'll know release dates and all that at some point. If it'll be this year, if it'll be the top of next year, but said all that to say, when I get to moving around and promoting, I'm coming to the West Coast, and we will have, even if it has to be a socially distanced lunch date or something, we're gonna do something.
Girl, I don't know.
I don't know. You don't know. You try to hold on to hope. We are people of faith, and it's
glass boxes or something like that.
I know. Help us, Lord.
But
Help
girl,
us.
we're gonna let you go.
Thank you, Miss Vicki, Mr.
Claude.
A
big kiss for us.
We shall. I shall. Thank you, family.
We'll see you again next week.
Okay.
Friday. Bye-bye.
Much love, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See y'all. Love y'all too. Bye-bye.